I'll just keep looking at you. Like my camera's up there, so
I know. I'm the type. I constantly look at my own reflection. I'm addicted to it.
I do, and I don't know why, because I
it's
don't want
an
to look like a twit. I'm all
it's an
shiny.
issue. It's an issue. I always want to know. Am I in focus? Is everything okay? Is everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll pretend it's that. It's not
All
that.
right.
But
And
we'll
I have a
pretend
mug to
it's
drink
that.
my beer out of.
Yeah.
It's a little gay, but I think I can pull it off. How long does this process normally take? Like an hour?
Usually about an hour. Yeah. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'll
All
try to
right.
because I'm expected to do other contemplative or different things as well. But if you are all set and all ready, we
I'm
can.
I'm totally fine to be your guest.
Uh, I don't think there's really a whole bunch of other things. I'll look stuff up as we go. I
Okay.
I am Ross. Joining me this week, as Ian is still away in England and Scotland, is my guest Mike Butler, who I've been trying to get on the show for a really long time, and it just happened to be. It, and here at the tail end of Pride Month, we are definitely attempting to
Is
drink
it?
Nova Scotia Dry. If you
Oh, it
can't tell,
is.
if you can't tell at all, it is definitely Pride. So here's the thing that Ian and I talk about this fairly often. We all say, okay. We're saying this from the perspective of I am a white,
Yep.
older, straight male. And so we're
Yep.
sort of like, do we have opinions on this? Yes. Should we shut up? Definitely.
Definitely.
So
Yep.
we usually fall into that category. But every year, and Garrison puts out their queer summer
I
brew,
know.
and this good robot one, I didn't realize that this was a Pride beer, the Thembot Sour, because they have this year round. Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the Truro Brewing Company has a couple, I think
Yeah.
two. One of them might be a seltzer, but there's definitely one, and I love it. So there's an extra special bitter is a type of beer, and we like that one. So they put out their ESB, but they're calling it their extra special. No, what was it? It's their extra special
Glitter?
brother or extra special bro something, but it was
Something.
something. It was the same as the ESB, but it was a play on the fact that nobody was really sure. Well, not nobody, but it has been difficult to describe often your same-sex partner to sometimes at family gatherings. You say, "Oh, this is my and so they were making a play on special friend. I think was
Oh,
the name
okay.
of the beer, and there
I
were
mean, I've been described as extra special bitter, so I don't know why they just didn't keep it the same.
at by a significant other when you were meeting their family.
No, I know. I'm called something completely
Ha!
different.
Point to the old heterosexual
It
male.
usually starts with "I'm so sorry."
So
Now I can do a good Ian impression. Like I can turn my camera off and just pretend to be Ian if that's what we want. Hello, Ross.
I love how you went straight to hello. You just
Yeah,
now you just
it's a good, it's a great starting word
you sound like
on 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 the beer thing that we're doing here this evening.
you sound like British Eeyore.
We've met Ian.
No, he's incredibly eclectic. He's quite
He is one of
vivacious
my
and
favorite
energetic
human beings.
on this show,
Top
especially
75.
past 75. But what I so you there is a pride section, a little pride section over there in the NSLC, and we've
Yep.
we've had these before at different
Do
times,
they
and
really have like a full section?
they have a display,
Okay, I was
and
like,
because
is
there
it
are
like a
just
Homa section
two of them in the Homa section
in
for
the Homa
yeah
section?
for Pride Month. Now, I don't think it comes down to Big Tro as burly chested beer. We're making beer and everything must
No,
I'll go and tear a oak tree down with my bare arms and then wrestle a manatee.
not anymore.
It I a lot of the local breweries themselves, they celebrate something for Pride. Schoolhouse
Yes, they
goes
do.
all out. They're
All out.
huge.
All out.
They like decorate. They've got events in the parking lot. I think they do their own parade in their
They
parking lot.
did. The parade in Hants County ends at Schoolhouse Brewery. That's where they have the prom. And they have
That
a
was it.
drag
The prom.
show.
Yes.
And they have like Windsor goes all out. It's pretty amazing.
I'm
So yeah, they all do something that has like a, but then they keep it all year. I think they just really promote it heavily over the month.
good.
Yeah.
But so this is where it came down to. It's we always say, oh, okay, there's not a lot of pride among the brewery. There is a goodly amount, but for
Yeah.
Ian and I to sort of say, here we go, we're gonna have our Pride Month celebration. It feels a bit like Royal Bank would like you and yours to have a very special
Yes.
Pride Month this month, and don't forget to put hashtag RBC Pride in all of your social media. Like that's, Royal Bank, I know exactly what you're doing. It's one of those.
We
I
call
know.
it pink washing.
That's the
That's
one.
what it is called. That is the word for it. That is pink washing. Now, Garrison and Good Robot over the year support the queer community. It's not just for the month. Like they're always doing
Yeah.
advocacy work, and they're great allies. They're ally breweries, and we love that.
I guess the short version that I wanted to point out is the only ones who are probably the closest to seeming like posers in this entire Nova Scotia craft brew industry is me.
Yeah.
Sort of doing this version of
Yeah.
let's have the pride beers on the show, and then I go one and above and beyond because Ian was going away to Scotland. And,
Yeah.
and he says, oh yeah, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And I said, well, who am I going to talk to? And I thought, oh, I've been meaning to have Mike on the show for the longest time because Mike, our favorite person.
And here I am.
And then I said, oh, what if I can't invite Mike on Pride Month? Then he's just going to think I must be
Yeah.
guilty of pink washing somewhere. But
No, your invitation was not taken that way. Taken that way. I'm sorry. It was not taken that way at all.
oh, good.
No, because
Wordplay.
I'm a beer poser because I've never actually held a can of it. It actually it weighs a lot. It hurts.
This is my other favorite part because
Yeah.
I'm in trying to get you on the show just for someone to talk to because we love just talk. It's all about a good conversation, and
Yeah.
I don't always talk to people who are talking about beer, but I'm in it for the good conversation alone. So we wanted to
Yeah.
have you there, and I was trying to figure out what's the weirdest beer we could make you drink, and these aren't the weirdest beers we could make you drink, but we thought,
No,
let's get you going with a little fun, little happy thing, and
I love this.
the other side of things, not to be the token, but maybe you need to give it your approval or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Proud hazy ale.
I'm
I've been
all-
called that on occasion.
See, there you go. All right, I will take
Yeah.
being called. What was I saying? I was being called. Oh, right, the
Queer
extra
with
special
natural
bitter.
citrus flavor. I've been called that
Queer
too. There's
with-
oh, sorry, beer with
I don't think it says that on the side. Regardless,
beer with natural citrus flavor. Okay.
you picked the right one. So the first one, it's
I love
5.0%, so it's slightly less alcoholic than the second one, but it's the Queer Summer Beer Brew. And correct me if I'm wrong or if you know anything, but Garrison does this every year. And
This can is amazing.
and it's proud hazy. It's got colors, rainbow the whole way around, and then an additional rainbow around the back across the Garrison. Once more, beer with natural citrus flavor, and it doesn't actually say much more than that. Get fresh, keep cool.
No.
We
It
drank.
does.
It does.
Yeah, that the other little bit about a portion of every can sold goes to Halifax Pride. I think that's fantastic.
We could go quite in depth about the whole Halifax Pride thing because it's a little bit of the Pride.
It's
stuff.
funny because Halifax Pride has actually sort of decreased in its popularity, and people have now started going to more like ruralish communities like Pictou, Lunenburg, Annapolis Royal, Windsor, Kentville. Like they take away that we don't
Which-
want to be crammed with a million people.
Isn't the worst thing that could happen.
No.
It's bad that the reputation of a Pride event does diminish in any way, shape, or form, but pushing things further out of the city.
Oh, I think it's amazing because those smaller communities, it keeps folks there instead of let's move to Halifax where they celebrate Pride. No, they do that in our small communities.
Yeah.
I'm heading to Toronto on Thursday for 4 days, and I realized this morning it's Pride Week in Toronto. I just realized it. So I'm going to be crammed with 3 million people in Toronto, and I'm not overly looking forward to it. Like I'd rather just go and do my own thing, but heck, I'll go shopping. So
Yep.
are we
I've
how do-
cracked mine open and I'm putting it in the. You need to pull the tab on the top. There's a little opener, lock and
But-
key.
okay. Okay.
You've had pop before. I've seen you open the cans for conversation water at
Wow.
Le Caveau.
It took 3 minutes to use my wine drinking against me.
I'm just saying they've started putting them in cans, so you can't say
Yep.
that you can't
Oh,
operate.
have
a
they
can.
ever? Have they ever? Okay, it's open. What am I pouring it in my? Oh, I just happen to have this little rainbow mug
I mean, you
on
can
my
put it
desk.
in that. I put mine in a glass. I happen to be all set with my Garrison is going in my Garrison glass, and my Good Robot's
Oh,
going in my Good Robot glass. But we've been doing this for 3.5 years, so I really should have some form of professionalism available to me. Oh, we could have got a Bud Light Celebrate Pride can. Well, speaking of
I mean, they
fun,
do it on like There's rainbows on vodka. There's like,
there's a few things.
no, I prefer drinking right out of the can.
I
But
like that we can be sure, especially within Nova Scotia breweries, that the companies themselves, since they're local, we can tell. We can kind of drive by and say, "Yep, okay, they are actually doing the Pride thing," and that's phenomenal and
what
fantastic.
do we just start drinking?
Well, tell me what it smells like.
Um, I just got
It's
some I just got some foam in my nose.
it's supposed to be hazy, but mine's not
How come
incredibly hazy. It's still
how
pretty
come
see
mine
through
has all this stuff on top of it?
because you poured it that way.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
poured
can I
it
get
on an
that?
angle like I see in the movies.
That doesn't always help. Yeah, mine's trying to be a little hazy. It's definitely I smell citrusy. You
I
get
definitely smell citrusy.
some orange peel, some grapefruit off the top of that, maybe. Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers. It's very citrusy. Oh, is that how fast we drink it? Okay.
That's how fast I drink it. I got places to be.
Ugh. That's definitely beer.
Well, well. Now, okay, you are nearly gagging. That's fine.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm totally fine.
But can I point
It
out
Now
it's
that's better than what I've had. Like some people have just given me stuff saying, "No, no, no, you'll love this.
no
Don't throw things at
no
me." Like
such thing.
that's like no. But if you say, "Well, what do you like to drink?" This would have some similar like people like, "Oh, you drink coffee every day. You would love this Belgian stout." And I'm like, "No, I would not."
The right kind of coffee stout, you might, but
Unless
not all of them. On
well,
see
no, because it's not hot and it's not coffee. So I don't
the plan on this show is to describe things well enough that someone will say, "Ooh, yes, I like that thing you mentioned. Maybe I will like that one." So, in theory, I should know, based on things that I know you like to drink, what your entry beer should have been, but I just threw all that out the window and we're just drinking these because
This is
it's
good though. This is good. Like because it doesn't taste like beer until I'm over it. Like I could actually drink this entire thing because it kind of tastes like a melted popsicle. It's got like that
it,
citrus, but then after a minute I'm like, oh, I just drank beer.
it reminds me of like a malted lemonade that I've had. There was a big malted lemonade craze in Ontario for a number of years in the early 2000s, late 90s. And and it's that where it's you're not getting that kind of okay. So there's what we call the really nasty like the Coors Light and Budweiser stank,
Yeah.
which is that bitter kind of you've had a gross vegetable at the end. That
Yeah.
has almost been removed out of most craft beer that we've
Okay.
had where that's aftertaste or bitterness on the tail end, and
Oh my. Is that
none
supposed to
of
happen?
hardly any of them have that anymore. So this now, when you add the word hazy, that's sort of implying it's hazy because we've just put a lot of citrus in this, and it's going to be very lemony, orange rindy, grapefruit, just a number of different flavors. In fact, I don't know. If I look up 2024 Garrison Queer Brew, they might tell me a little bit more about it.
Now I don't taste a lot of lemon in it, but I do definitely taste orange and grapefruit, but maybe I'm missing it. Is it okay if I have some peanuts to go with it? Because I just feel like that's normal.
That's what Ian does. Ian eats peanuts galore. Community
Does
diversity
it?
and resilience. It just says beer with natural citrus flavor. So there's no
Okay.
additional description to it. Oh, here we go. Okay, fermentation characteristics: apricot.
Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, there is something like there's something.
Here you go. Pores hazy, light-bodied, very refreshing. Fruit forward on the nose. Expect notes of grapefruit, lemon, muscat grape, and
It literally is
lychee.
describing me to a T. What was that? Fine. What? Can you
Expect
do that again?
fruit forward on the nose.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my band name.
Expect notes of grapefruit, lemon, muscat grape, and lychee. You definitely tasted the lychee in this, aren't you? Oh,
Oh my God, there's definitely some
there's
lychee.
some strong lychee here. Light
Yeah.
malt character with flavors of citrus, mostly lemon and grapefruit. A slight amount of acidity carried through the finish. This comes through more like a radler. Has anyone ever handed you a radler before? Like the grapefruit radler sometimes?
Um,
It's
m- would that be like a Patty's thing?
basically juice. I don't know that Patty's does a radler, but it
I know many people used to hand me beer, like, and they're like, "Here, try this," and I think I remember hearing Radler.
okay, because a radler
Mm.
is like a grapefruit juice, but with this. What you might be feeling like in the body there somewhere is what is the malt part. It's sort of like a bready,
Okay.
grainy sort of. Yes, this is obviously made with barley shafts.
Hmm.
There's a thickness, kind of,
Now I have to say, my salted cashews are a good chaser.
which is
Like,
chasing which.
oh gosh, I don't do sports, so like I don't know, the salt in this, it goes really well. So if I have a cashew and then I have a little sip of this, it's sort of, I don't taste a lot of acidity in it, like not compared to other things I've had. I do like this. This is a good pick. Did Brittany pick this for me?
These happen to be the two available in the NSLC. Like I said, there's a couple available. Truro
Okay.
Brewing did some specific Pride beers, but I didn't get out to Truro to pick them up.
Okay.
I messaged them and I said if there was a way to get them, but they
Hmm.
said not at the time. And because I spent the last 6 days in Montreal, I didn't get my way out to Truro. I was busy flying
Hmm.
over it twice. Here's a fun
Well, your hair looks great.
Here's a fun story for that. So I and you'll love where this is going. I didn't make the bookings because whenever I book things go terribly wrong. So Brittany made the bookings for us. Um, she stayed here with the baby,
Hmm.
and I took my daughter, she's kayaking on the basin on what I call F1
Oh,
Island.
congratulations on everything.
So she's there and she's doing all the things. She won some medals and she did really well. We get there and we fly in and we take the bus and I figured out the bus and the metro system and here we
Hmm.
go and we get up there and we come out of the metro station. We're like, there we are, and look, our hotel is only one block out, like half a block away from the hotel that we're staying in. Start walking towards the hotel. This is cool. The street is blocked off. I said, "Oh, we're staying on a pedestrian street. Yay! This is
Yep.
delightful. This is wonderful." Joe says, "Is that a rainbow?" And I said, "Where?"
Oh.
And I said, "Yes, that is definitely the pride flag up there. You know, it's got the pink, all the
Yep.
triangle up in the top and everything." But she was looking at the ground because not just crosswalk. We're not talking crosswalk. There is a stripe, a wavy stripe up something like 6 or 7 blocks on St. Catherine Street.
Oh. Yep.
Because so then we look it up, and I remember the text that I sent my wife. I said, "Did you book us a hotel in Gay Village?" And she said, "Yep." And I said, "We're in the Gay Village during Pride Month and Saint Jean Baptiste Day, which was yesterday."
Which was yesterday.
So I've got this great picture. We get into our room and I took a picture at the front. We're at the front window, and right across the street is a bar slash club with a second story dance floor, and then next to that was another bar, but next to that on the right was a strip club.
Yep.
And we went for just a wander one night, found some great burgers. I mean, just
Yep.
enjoying the experience of what I loved about it more than anything. I guess you could say, and I don't know. Again, this is coming from a aging male heterosexual. Oh, what's my last thing? Straight white male.
Dumpy. This is the beer talking. This stuff is great.
All right, we'll go with that. It
No, you're amazing.
it felt like everyone was proud. There was no shame, and I loved
Yep.
that. I loved
Yep.
walking down a street where it felt like there was no shame. Joe, my daughter kept saying things. She was look at that restaurant. Like the beautiful, just it's an open. It didn't feel shabby, and
Yep.
I don't want to say. And this is coming back to, oh man, I'm just gonna poop all over Halifax Pride or Halifax in general. Halifax has this thing of when you're in the gay part, there's a little bit of there's not really all that much paint on that wall, or we're here because someone didn't want to be here anymore, or we're in the bad end because it's not well kept. There's a little bit of a criminal element right over there, and so we
Oh,
have to be
you
this.
carry your own penicillin. Like it's just yeah.
So this street,
Yep.
not like that at all. I mean, we sat out on the sidewalk and
Yep.
on a beautiful sidewalk patio. There's these beautiful stores, and the stores I love. So this beautiful, this lovely like hardwood everything. The copper brass fittings. A beautiful pub
Yep.
is up here, and everyone's having a beer. Right next to that is the leather fetish store with everything displayed in the windows, and then next to that is
Yep.
another. It was like if every second store was the most niche,
Yep.
sexually curious store you could find.
Yep.
And then the next one is just, and here's your family restaurant.
Yep. Exactly.
There's
Because
young kids walking up and down. I said, I love this. I just love how natural it feels, and there's no kind of a, ooh, don't look at that. Ooh, don't look at this. None of that stigma. It felt like a stigma-less street, and I just
Good.
loved being there. And that reminds me of and this comes up with Truro Brewing, because I walked into Truro Brewing, and I tell everybody as soon as I walked in there, I said I felt like it was really not. I just really enjoyed the fact that there's graffiti up on the wall, and there's a Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter poster over here, and it's really cool, and they've got a pride flag. And I said, great, this place
Yeah.
feels inviting and inclusive, and
Yeah.
I know I'm a straight white male, so everywhere feels inclusive and inviting to me, but I like to try to empathize or imagine if I was wearing a different hat walking in somewhere. And when I walk into a place, I say, if I was someone else, if I was someone else who needed this, I would really love being here. And I tried to tell that to someone, and someone said, oh yeah, Truro Brewing, the gay place. And I went,
Yep.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've got to say, I was a little disappointed in that. And
Yeah.
then I followed Truro Brewing on Instagram.
Oh dear.
And they've got this one, and it says, we've got this reputation of being, oh, are you the gay brewery? And then YMCA or something very stereotypical starts playing, and it's showing all the stuff that they've got up on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like a guy with a mustache and fishnet stockings mural on one side, and a bunch of things of why can't I think of it right now? Oh, everyone's all Republicans and conservatives are really angry at them because they keep reading stories of kids. Drag queens. Oh
Drag
my God.
queens.
I could not think of the word drag queen just then.
Okay, I love trivia.
So they're all these drag queens and stuff. And it's posters and just beautiful colors and stuff up on the wall as they're showing around, and then it finally comes back to the same person saying, I don't know where you get that idea.
Yeah, I have no idea where that's coming
Moving
from.
on. So I was a little sad that the first brewery that I felt, oh, this feels like there's finally an inclusive kind of, it's not just hurly-burly, barrel-chested
Yep.
men sitting around drinking beers. It gave it a bit of...
That's too bad.
It gave it a bit of excitement. It gave it a bit
Yeah.
of personality. And I loved that. And then someone said, oh, that's because it's the gay place. And I thought, oh, right, I live in rural Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Well, what makes you so incredible is, and I have a lot of these people in my life. Maybe it's because I live in Wolfville and we just like doing stuff, but you're a conscious ally, which is what one of the things that I adore about you. There's like a million things.
That's a wonderful compliment, though. I will try
It is.
and live up to
It
it
is
as best
because
I can.
I can just say that you're an ally, but there's a difference between being an ally and then being a conscious ally, where you see those things. You go to places, Montreal, Halifax, Truro, anywhere, and you observe what's welcoming to you, and you are making sure it's welcoming to everyone. And that's lost. Everyone says oh no, I got your back, bro. I got your back. It's good. No one's ever gonna get. But do they
pardon
actually
me.
walk
I'm
into
going
a
to go into
business-
this steakhouse here with a big sign out front that says "No queers."
No queers. I love steak and I love you. I love steak though. So like I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fine. I know that they would protect me, but there's a great quote that Lily Ashdown said when she was emceeing the Hants County Pride Parade about allies and about, it's great that you stand there and everything, but if you're not getting hit with the same rocks, then you're not standing close enough. Something like that.
Oh,
So it's one of
that's
those.
really nice. I like that.
It is a it's and she, oh it, you should actually find the quote because it's I just kind of garbled it up, but that's sort of the way it is. Like, no, I'm here for you. I got your back. I will defend you. But if you're not feeling the same things, if you're not getting
Yeah.
hit with the same this, then you're not standing close enough to me.
Sort
So
of.
I don't have to worry about that. I've got a bazillion people that I could just call and be like, somebody bugged me today, and then and then it's taken care of. He told me my glasses were too orange. Deal with it, Ian.
I have a tiny amount of this left. This was really good. It was really smooth. It was really citrusy. It was exactly as they said it was supposed to be. Does it taste like Celebration? Is that kind of what?
I'm at, like, you'll be proud of me. I'm like, my mug's almost empty.
Yeah,
does it taste like Celebration? I mean,
does it taste like a party? I think that's kind of citrus does that to me. Like when outside of a very flat lemonade at the side of the road, most citrusy things I go, there's a pop. There's a I want to get up. I want to boogie.
I would go back for more samples of this. Is that a good Mike Butler beer review?
I guess it's about as good as you could get. Yes, I think.
I would have a sample of this, and then I would 100% go back for a second sample.
I can see you at the bar standing there saying, "Excuse me, what are the words I say to get more of this beer substance in some sort of receptacle I can drink it from?"
There we go.
Where most people would sort of say, "All of another."
Yeah, exactly. I'll be
how does one do that?
Was decent enough that I could partake in more of it. Could you make that happen?
I somehow liked my beer. I don't know what to do next.
Yeah. This was good. Now what?
Exactly. And usually at that point,
I drank it. Now what? Yeah.
More stuff, more things. I think it's similar. I don't know if they update the recipe every year or.
When I drink too much at once, it makes me shiver.
It's probably not supposed to do that.
No, but I sip. If I can sip beer, I'm good.
So.
Okay.
That was a hazy pale ale, a hazy beer.
Oh, thank you for that that story. That was wonderful. It was a way to introduce me, the ability to compliment you, which I do. I don't do enough in person. I always compliment you when you're not there, and it irritates me.
I don't think
I'm like, he would have.
I might have been fishing for compliments, and that's the other bad thing about this. We're a lot of the don't forget to go on to Bell Let's Talk Pride and do this because do you know Bell raised over $400 for Pride Month last year? Yes, we did. Just keep them compliments, and I feel like that's the other part of it. There's a fishing part of we're included too. Someone notice and point out how inclusive we are of that LGB SF 49ers. We are definitely with
Don't
those.
Don't forget the WD-40 because that always comes in handy for us.
Yeah. The LGB plus
right now,
WD-40s.
for me though, I'm so old though. It's now like A535 because everything hurts. I'm a 2S LGBTQ A535 plus community.
Oh man.
I spend most of my Pride Month not thinking about myself, not dealing. I sort of take this month off to say thank you to those outside of the community and to the youngins. Oh, the youngins, Ross. They I'm just the G. I'm just the G in this whole thing. Now it's like I'm not special.
But
no.
your confidence was part. You are a piece of the road that paved the way for the youngins, like you say, to be able to get yelled at by an entire a group of politicians saying you shouldn't want litter boxes. And
Exactly.
they're
Like
like,
it's just one of those
none of us
things.
ever said we did.
Yeah. Yep.
This is
I
kind
still
of.
feel important and I still feel valued, but it's like, again, I'm just a G. I'm just a G in the old
I'm not even in
acronym.
there. I'm not even in there at all, which is why February, Black History Month, people will say, hey, are you doing stuff for Black History Month? I said, yeah, I'm shutting up.
Yeah,
Like, what are you doing for
I'm
Pride Month?
listening.
Shutting up. I'm
I'm listening.
I am, when people do, when a big event happens, like the schoolhouse event happens, what am I doing? I'm saying
Yep.
that, more of that. Keep doing that. Everyone, do
I'm
this
supporting.
this
I'm
this this thing
supporting.
that you're doing. What can I do to make
Yep.
this bigger, better, more grandiose? What can we do to
Yep.
make Pride Month and a half? What do we do
Yeah.
to
You do
expand upon
Pride
this?
Month all year. That's a great contribution. It's National Indigenous Peoples Month. So great. Let's do it all year.
Hmm.
It's Men's Mental Health Month. How about we do that all year? Let's
That
not just put the focus here.
that
Like it,
shuts people up really quick when you hear the complainers like, how come, Black History gets its own month? Like, you know what? Fair point.
you know
Let's
what?
teach it all those other 11 months, and let's make a
Exactly.
big
Let's do it all
celebration, and we'll
12.
have ambassadors. And good point. Good point there. I'm going
Yeah.
to write,
If you
yeah.
want it all year, let's do it all year, sir.
Absolutely. You're uncomfortable with 1 month? Oh, I've been waiting
Oh,
to hear these
I've been
words.
waiting to hear this.
Whew.
I've been waiting to do 365 days of this
Let's
just for you.
let's get right to it. Speaking of right to it. Oh, mild segue, but it wasn't. It was kind of uncomfortable. Good
It was a
robot.
great, it was a very uncomfortable, awesome segue.
Yep, there it is. Good robot out of, now I'm not entirely sure. I think they're in the city, but they moved out to sort of the Enfield range.
Well, it says brewed in Canada, Elmsdale.
So
They're in Elmsdale.
I think they're in Elmsdale. They do have a tap room. Oh, wait a minute. You'll notice that
Okay.
I was in the tap room for the Garrison Brewery, but now I'm going to switch it around to, this is the
Oh, they're out. Look at their outdoor patio.
Quinpool,
Like
I think. Is this Quinpool in Oxford? Because this is part of the old Oxford Theatre.
it is. It's part of the Oxford Theatre.
Ugh,
Yep.
rest in peace, but still.
Oh my God, some of the like my best film experiences there.
Oh, let's not switch into movies, then we'll never be done tonight.
I know.
Why?
We'll do a movie one. You owe me a movie one then.
Well, you make a movie podcast, and I will come be I'll be a guest on your show when you do the thing.
Okay.
So Elmsdale, we've decided that they're in Elmsdale, and they do have
Yep.
a tap room here in Halifax. But this is the Thembot. I think Thembot.
Thembot.
The
Thembot.
blackberry guava sour, 5.5%. I will explain that whole thing to you in a second. But
Yeah, those are words I've never heard in my entire life. What the hell is a blackberry?
on the side of the can, we have to
Oh,
wait
this
until
is
next
gold.
February, Black History Month, before I can explain it to you. The Black History Month berry. It's just available year round. Pride didn't begin with parades and glitter bombs. It began with bloodshed and fire. So this is, it's pretty uplifting. We're on the positive side of things here. The Stonewall riots.
It makes me want to drink, so.
The Stonewall riots in 1969 marked the beginning of a revolution. Folks like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, and Storm DeLavery? Delavery?
Delavery or Delavery.
Delavery, okay.
Delavery.
I was putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Storm Delavery bravely stepped up and fought for LGBTQS plus rights. I think I got that. Everyone should have the right to exist without fear of harassment, violence, and discrimination.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the only flaw in their can that the 2S should be first. Other than that, I think this is one of the coolest. Like the Garrison can is great. It's a lot. Like when it was first presented to me today, I was like, "Oh my gosh, and I just read it for like a half an hour." This one is just so simple.
It's a white can. The rainbow is shaped almost like, I would say, a door.
Yep.
And now they do say they're talking about the Stonewall riots, and so there's this tiny little bit of stonework just down there.
I love it. And like a little bit of history, like and I love the trans rights, our human rights. Like this is really speaking to a very specific portion of the queer community, which is amazing, which makes it even more inclusive and even more welcoming. But but I do. I think it's that's a great little piece of history because it is depressing. So it's not all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows.
I
You
think
know?
what you said and what I mentioned of paving the way to make it easier for everybody, and I
Yep.
feel like celebrating how you can talk about this now, b
Yes.
you can and should be accepted for it. That is a more acceptable statement to say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you should be accepted for that. Whereas say
Yeah.
30, 40 years ago, I wouldn't even be able to say that. Oh, we should
No.
accept them.
Yep.
Bam, just you're fired, out the door, get out of here. There's no chance. Okay. So
But to know this began in 1969 with a black trans drag performer, like huge. That's huge.
and
Some
it
people think that the gay rights movement started like, oh, when I walked down the street.
oh,
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. It's and even before
in the
that.
80s at the 7th Pride Parade, like, oh, that's what it's really
Exactly.
beginning.
That's really, yeah, it's
No,
really, no, it began in the Greeks. Actually, they had no problem.
arguably before then, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So what it says along the top of this can, right, because I was going to try to explain this to you as best I could. Oh god.
This beer tastes refreshing and tangy, not super sour.
So
Okay.
where it says the Thembot, the blackberry guava sour, a
Sour.
sour is a type of beer.
Okay.
Now, do you know when you get like sour keys, sour soother, like sour candies, like
Yeah.
jelly babies or sour Skittles?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of sour.
Okay.
So
Like it's supposed to hit certain portions of your tongue.
this type of beer is Ian and I's least favorite type of beer because it's fruity and it makes you pucker. And I think,
Oh,
why would I want an uncomfortable fruit drink?
I'm already fruity and I already pucker. This beer is a friendly reminder to be aware of people's pronouns. I think we didn't read that on the can.
Oh,
I love that.
Where was that? Where was that?
It's right on this, right by the good robot. On the
Oh, I
on the
see.
black.
I see. There's
Isn't
so
that
much
great?
writing, and they do different sizes of fonts, and I'm way too old to be able to understand different sizes of fonts.
I
and things.
love that they give credit to their artist. I didn't notice that on the Garrison can. I'm sure that they do.
It's not on every can. I've not noticed it on 100% of them. Artwork by
Okay.
Britt Hall. Yeah, you are right.
Brett Hall. Now
I-
this looks the same as the other one, like color-wise.
It do. It's a little bit hazy. It's still in that kind of looks like a grapefruit juice type
Oh!
of cooler. Oh my, he's
Ooh,
tasted it. Have you tasted it or have you smelled it?
No, I just tasted it.
Did you not believe me when I said sour?
Holy!
This is. I have now decided. I think this was the right way to get you into a beer drinking experience.
Oh.
Because this is what Ian and I do. We try things and we say, sour beer, it's a type of beer. We have to drink this and tell people what it's like. And so,
Ooh.
yep.
Oh my!
It smells sweeter than most sours
Like I love
have
the
to
smell.
me.
I could smell it for hours, but oh my God.
Wow.
Whoa.
This is like
Someone does a whole can of this?
this is barely registering on my this is too sour I can't drink it scale. This is quite palatable. We need to get you the good stuff.
Oh.
Brittany has one. Her favorite is.
Well, she said that she liked this one, so I was like, I'll trust Brittany. She's the mother.
She liked it okay. She likes the other ones that are much more sour. Two Crows does a couple, and they are nearly undrinkable to me. But this is this style that everyone says, oh yes, I want to sit out on a patio and have a really cold one of these. I just love to sit there and have an ice cold sour. And I think these are the people that have what's the one where it's basically grapefruit juice and mint leaves, or my
Like a mojito?
I think a mojito, yeah, because
Some of
those
the-
to me,
oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
oh,
The hair on my back is standing up. Let me just have a peanut.
They're right. That's not super sour. That's refreshing. That's tangy. That's actually
This is not.
No, this is not super sour. You need to step away from the dry white wines. You see, this is the thing. People say, "Why don't you review the wines of the region? Why don't you review the ciders of the region?" I've tried a lot of the wines.
Oh
I'm
my
a wine
God,
tour guide. I go to the wineries and they give me all the wines and I say, "Yeah, you're reaching a tiny little slice of pie." On my flavor sensations. And then we went to the Ciders and Sliders event a few weeks ago. Brittany won
Yep.
tickets. I said, try this one. It's a dry apple. Try this one. It's a sweet apple. Oh, this one tastes a little bit like blueberries, but it's still mostly a
Yep.
sweet apple. It's a tiny, tiny little slice.
Yep.
So Ian and I get to come in here and say, what is this one you're about to give me? This is a chocolate brandy with a coffee backbiter. And he's like, okay, I'll try that. And it pours out. It's thick like molasses coming out of the glass and stuff. And then someone gives you this one. What's this? This is the sourest strawberry nonsense you'll ever pour in your face. And I say, what? It's such a wide array of fun and interesting things. They're all called vaguely the same thing. Oh, this is a pale ale. But it could taste like outer space compared to some of the other ones. You are not enjoying
This is not my
Thembot
favorite
sour.
beer of the two we've had tonight.
I really wondered if you would be a sour person. If you were going to say, this is great, how do I get more of this? And then you and Brittany could
No, I'm
start
just gonna
having...
carry on with.
Well, fair. I thought, yeah, suddenly you'd be Brittany's sour
Oh.
friend.
No, it just I don't know what it.
It's the sour bit.
I know. Maybe I'm just not a sour person.
That's evident. But
Exit stage right.
there's a couple that are done, and the ones that you have to worry about. If this ever happens to you again, and someone says, "Would you like a sour beer?" Just say, "Is it a kettle sour?" And if yes, no, send it back. Go nowhere near kettle sours because kettle sours are 9 times more sour than
If
this.
it's a kettle, say no.
Yes.
Oh. Is that what that's supposed to do to me?
Yep.
It's wilting my fake lay. Like, my flag's going up. My flag's going up. I surrender.
It would have been fun to try, and I want to get back out to Truro and try their ESB that they had for Pride. But I hope that it's the few cans left. I'm gonna maybe reach out and ask them to save one
I mean,
for me.
10 out of 10 for can design. I'll give them that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
oh boy,
it's gorgeous. The story, which is what a lot of these. There's some
Yeah.
wonderful beers. They've got stories, and here's the horrible tale of how the Acadians were driven off their land, and this one is named for the statue of who someone who was here. And you think, oh, so much history, really, really great purpose and reason, and dollars worth is going towards the historical society, and then you drink it.
Oh yeah, I
What
don't
is
think
this?
I would have the same reaction to an Evangeline ale, so it's okay.
Well, there you go. So, what I don't know that Schoolhouse has a pride themed beer aside from the fact that they have very colorful cans and I love it. The Scotian Export is blue.
They've got some mocktails, cocktails. They did something. They created a few drinks specifically for their Pride event.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know if they carry. Like you can't go and say, "Can I have your Pride beer?" Like, I think it's sort of just a little special. They make their something.
Why not? You can go into a bar on St. Patty's Day and say, "I'll have the green beer," and they're like, "Smash! Here you go." Where do you go for 6 levels of food coloring?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna work on that next year.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep drinking this one for our time being.
I
mean, all the power to it, all the power to the sour, but holy smokes, no, that was just making my tongue. It was hit like maybe I just have an overly sensitive tongue. That's another podcast.
Yeah,
but
that's our third podcast that we'll go on together.
It was just like, it's still. If I think about it, it gives me the shivers.
Actually,
so no,
if you had a podcast about any kind of sexual adventuring, I think I'd probably be the last person you'd want on there.
Why?
That's 1,000 different conversations, but
That was going somewhere interesting. We're
then
still live, right?
I'm not, and this where things like this come down to where you said you're only the G in the two
Yep.
SLGBTQ plus, and I say I'm not even a letter on there. I'm vanilla bread. I am the straight
You're
white
the
male.
plus.
I'm not.
I fit you into the plus.
What is the plus?
The plus is sort of like, because there's so many additional letters that, like, there's P's and there's this and there's that, but
Your
I put
chemistry, your body chemistry, and your brain
yeah,
chemistry make a mixed cocktail, and so
yeah,
it's one of those things where everyone's different, and I've tried to explain that to my kids for the longest time. It says, oh, that person's doing this, and I said, yep. That's
yep,
when we went to our burger place on St. Catherine Street in the gay village,
yep,
we walked up, and there was this, this nice young person who was
yep,
there with some pretty thick stubble, a white leather boa, high
yep.
heels, and white fishnet stockings. This look
Yes.
worked. This look
Yeah.
was working. I'm like,
Yeah.
kudos. This is I wish I
Yeah.
could pull this off. I think they got us to a seat, got menu and everything. I was like, oh, thank you very much. It was delightful. I sat down. I said to my daughter, "Did you think you were gonna get brought to a table by someone in high heels and fishnet stockings tonight?" My daughter said, "Nope."
Yeah.
But she did. My daughter is, I mean, not to totally, I don't know, delve into her privacy. As of right now, a heterosexual young woman. Meh.
Yeah. She'll never watch this. Go ahead.
She did join so they had a GSA, a gay straight alliance, in her middle school, and she came out one day. She said, "Oh, I've gone out and I've started going to the GSA at lunchtimes." And I said, "Oh, what's that?" She said, "It's the gay straight alliance." And I just
Yep.
said, "Great." I said, "Are there
Yeah.
nice people? Are you making friends?" She said, "Oh yeah, we do events and it's really nice to talk to people. It's really cool." I said, "Keep at it." I said, "You, a straight white young woman,
Yep.
honestly, if the Gay Straight Alliance was a quarter of you just for that mouthpiece, maybe
Yep.
let's push this stuff.
Yep.
Maybe we'd eventually get down to our, hey, is it Pride Year yet? Yeah, it's Pride
Yep.
Year. Woo, it's
And
January
that's
1st,
good
time for Pride
parenting.
Year."
That's good parenting. I would have punched a squirrel in the butthole for a GSA at my school, but that never happened.
Well,
I was the only gay in the village.
your fists are way too big for that kind of squirrel punching.
They are. Ow.
The thing that I used to say to her, because even and this was before she was in the GSA. Before she was in the GSA, or after she joined, she didn't need me anymore because I don't know anything. But before she joined, I tried to explain it one day to her. She said, "And there's people, and they like different things. How come everyone's mad at these kids who say they want to be different?" And I say, "Okay, I'll try to put this." The way that helped me was to say, okay, the way I was brought up, I was lucky. Like, capital L, every single letter capitalized in the word lucky.
Yep.
Lucky. I was
Yep.
heterosexual and I knew it.
Yep.
And you came along and you said, "Yep, I like that. That is what I like. What's up,
Done.
world?" And the whole world agreed with me.
Yep.
And I said to her, and this, if this is what happens to you, you are a lucky person. What happens to a good fraction, a good group of people is, let's say you were growing up and you said to yourself, I'm a boy. I like girls. Or in her case, I said, let's say you're a girl and you say, at one point, yes, I like boys. I would like to date a boy and then maybe get married to a boy. That sounds really good. But from the age of like 4, people kept coming up to you and said, "So, when you gonna start picking out your pile of tires?"
Yep.
And she's looking at me like, "Huh?" And I said, "But well, you can't just stay single your whole life. You're gonna eventually
Yep.
have to marry a pile of tires. And it can be on fire or not. That's up to you. But don't you love that pile of tires over there?" And the look on her face, and I looked at her and I said, that confusion. Now, double down that confusion for all of your teenage years of everyone telling you that you're supposed to be with a pile of tires and you
Yep.
saying but I don't want it.
No.
A, I don't want a pile of tires. B, in my head that makes no sense whatsoever. Who in their right mind would want a
Yep.
pile of tires? And there's just so much is illogic a word? So much the
Yeah.
lack of logic exists so much. And I said, that's the only way that I, as a straight white male, can figure out how to empathize what it might have been like growing up if I were 2SLGBTQ plus.
Yep.
That's the only way I can place it.
Yep.
And
And
it's
that's
hard even
very
to imagine because I was never told that.
yeah. But I mean, you and I use the same word to describe ourselves, and that's lucky. But we're two completely different identities. I was very lucky because at the age of 13, I knew exactly what I was. I didn't have to go through 25 years of, am I this? Am I that? Am I this? Am I that? I should get married and have 5 kids and then decide and then do this and hide and do, and I have a supportive family. I was lucky because it went like this in my head, and I'm like, okay. Like obvious, and I just knew. I just knew,
Yeah.
and you and I have sort of the same processes. Like, okay, I know I'm not that, so now I'm this, and that's what feels right. I will navigate safely and educate myself and find the safe people I need to be around and help those that I see, oh, I recognize that struggling person because that was me 10 years ago, and I'll just be me, and that's it. And luckily, folks have been like, "Ooh, I like you being around my kids, and I like you being around my friends because you don't force it, but you don't take crap from anyone." So I like that dynamic, and I've been very lucky. I've only ever had a problem maybe 3 or 4 times in my life
Be,
because I don't have
being
time for it, for one thing.
being unabashedly yourself seems to be what should be what's sent and signaled to the next
Oh,
generation.
am I?
Is so it comes to the point where if my son, who is now 1, and
I know.
he gets to 12ish 13ish and hopefully has feels like it's
Yeah.
the kind of environment that he gets to come up to me and says, I really want to marry a pile of tires.
Yep.
And I get to say, okay then.
Make sure they're all weather. Yes. We have a new routine.
We have so many routines all of the time. What
My
what I was thinking about tonight is I hated that this was almost a pigeonholed conversation because well, okay, you and we've talked for many a year and we have conversations that span everything, and I thought I hate bringing you on during Pride Month because it feels like such a I want to say it. It is a fraction of your personality. You are
It is.
omnidimensional. That there's so much that I love talking to you. We glazed over the fact that we could talk about movies until the sun
Yep.
comes up again. We could talk
Yeah.
about theater. We could talk about music. We could talk about so many different things. We could talk about local community. I wanted to get into local community involvement, and I didn't. And because
Oh,
the whole concept of this is Nova Scotia craft breweries
means I need to have to get back here again.
and tourism
Yep.
and extolling the I don't want to say virtues because they're not exactly virtues. They've definitely been dragged through the gutter and used by the most worsts of people. So not the virtues of Nova Scotia, but the lightly abused
Yes, there we go.
lightly abused delightful parts of Nova Scotia and what it will take and what it does take to explain to everybody that this is just a tremendously wonderful place full of lots of people doing amazing things. Couple of bad eggs, but whatever.
I know the difference between being used and not being appreciated. And you've never made me feel unappreciated. And if I have to be here just to have a conversation, we talked about beer. but it was different. This is
Oh, right, we
marketing,
drank beer.
and this is marketing, and this is welcoming to my community as well as anyone else. Like it makes it. If I have to sit here and have you and Ian could have had a conversation about this, because I know the both of you are genuine, caring, wonderful individuals, that it's not taken for granted, because it doesn't end here. When your hour's up, you're not going to say, whew, thank God we made it through all that gay stuff. We don't have to worry about supporting them until next year at this time. Mike will see this and think we're okay.
Yep.
No, you actually step up above and beyond all year round. You just have me because I'm like, yay, we finally get a time that works. It was the timing, not the actual month.
Yeah, how are you free during Pride Month? That just seems like, well, you were
true.
barely free. We started late because you were busy doing.
I'm usually in bed by now.
There's another side of things. We could have talked about local municipal politics for an hour and a half.
Exactly. But
we shouldn't.
I mean, I'd love to come back sometime if you can find me something that isn't a sour.
I'll get you that dark molasses coffee stout thing.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that
goes.
Like
I would try a couple of things.
There are so if I can equate things to, this is usually my benchmark, a Molson Canadian, which is the most disgusting beer. And we tried it.
Heard.
We brought it back. We said, hey, wait a minute. What if these ones that we make fun of aren't as bad as we think they are? So we tried a small amount of them, and we said, nope, these are still really bad. I'm so glad I'm drinking the craft beer from the craft breweries, and it's so much better. So finding ones like that, and I think I'm slowly, even just your responses to these two, I am conjuring up a good a good introduction, because there have been some beers that I've tried that I've said, that just tastes like a white wine. What is going on here? Yeah, it has happened. Actually, no, it's been more the ciders. More ciders have tasted like.
Tread carefully. This could be discrimination.
Like, I happen to know. We have had the conversation. What do you like to drink? And you say white wine. I like reds. You like whites.
I can't drink red, so I have to drink double the white. I like my rosés. I did a tour on Saturday. I can't drink red. It gives me like a blister and headache. I can cook with it a little bit. I could do like a little sample, but reds, no. Whites, rosés. I could do some even sparklings. I can't do a lot of sparkling.
I have bad news. These both sparkle.
Oh, I mean, this is fine. This is like I actually very much enjoyed this one.
Okay, and so I'll keep you away from the Belgians and the ones that are maybe a little bit more with the carbonation and a little bit more of a bite to them.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't mind those people. They like wine.
No, they don't. They invented beer.
Make incredible cheese. And waffles.
Belgians cheese?
Do Belgians make cheese?
That's
I don't know.
Swiss.
I've been drinking. So.
We finally delved into racism, so that's a good sign. Woo!
It's like Ian's actually here. Okay. No, I did a private tour on Saturday, so I got to actually go to Luckett's and the Church Brewing Company and Demand a Grand Prix in a private tour.
Oh,
and
that's an interesting tour. Those three.
So it was somebody. So Justin Brown, the actor, Music Man from Stage Profits, he was in Greece for me.
Okay.
He called me and he was like, I have a group of 40 folks coming for a conference in Halifax, and they all want to do a wine tour. So he organized it, asked me to be the guide. Those were the 3 spots. They came up from the Westin, picked me up in Grand Pré, the coffee shop, went to Luckett's for an hour, the Church Brewing Company for 2, and then Demand a Grand Pré for an hour.
They didn't want a wine tour.
They wanted
They wanted an experience tour. They wanted to sit.
Pretty much.
They wanted an Instagram tour. The posers. Yeah. I am going to judge them harshly based on their 3 selections.
So I thought that I was going to get picked up by a bus of drunken, rowdy, I don't even know what. Anyway, I would get on the bus and I'm like, hello. Like, no, there was not a peep. So we went to Luckett's. They had 5 samples. We went to the church. They had lunch and 4 samples. Then we went to Demand a Grand Prix, and they had 5 samples. And they were still just as somber as when I met them at the... They loved me though, and it was great.
What do you
And
what do you
it was
do with
like
a
they were.
crowd like that?
I mean, I threw out some good stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just, because Justin's like, just be theatrical, be you, do this, and it was like this kind of a conversation because, again, unless you're headless, you pretty much know where I sit in terms of this is my month, and you just happen to be interrupting my Saturday.
Mm.
So they were asking me all these questions about tourism and the wine industry and the brewery industry and the ciders and all that stuff. And then they were asking me about what the town does for events and what the community does for events. And it was a really great day of con conversing with 42 people from all over Canada, many from Alberta. So they were like, I hate my province. I hate my province and I hate what's going on there.
Mm.
But what do I like? What is your advice? And I'm like, either move or just don't become that. Like that's all you can really do. Like just, and even that, I
Get
know,
involved.
get involved. Like just, I said, as long as you understand what's better and right. I said, because once you do better, then things will get better.
Well,
But don't stop doing better. It was really good conversations, and I had many a glass of wine. Manda took very good care of me.
was Lila up at Luckett's? Because that would have
Um,
really clinched it.
we were there at 10:30 in the morning,
Probably not
so
then.
they hadn't got there yet. I did see Grape Escapes, the other tour, and then
Did you
we
still do that little? I just still do that little
I do.
mental fist. You grape escape.
I
It,
always do it. I'm like, there's Grape Escapes, the other tour. I'm like, and they're
I
puns,
will shake my
whatever.
fist at them in my head or
Yeah,
physically.
yeah. Anyway, so they were really good, but they were, I'm part of the greater community. Like I'm part of Wolfle. I'm part of Grand Pré. So if you get me, you get all of me. And they were, by the end of the day, we were hugging.
Aw.
They were giving me business cards, and they're like, yeah, it was really wonderful. It was just, yeah.
Should there be? And this is a conversation that, or a question that could lead to an hour-long conversation. I'm looking for a 1 to 7 word answer on this one.
From me?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, let me grab a pencil.
Should Wolfville be doing more for Pride events?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And
I'm sorry. That's I didn't even need to write that down.
no, that's the answer I was looking for.
No, when I'm in Windsor emceeing, so I was the parade marshal
And
for last year's
I'm
parade.
envious. I'm envious of what they did at Schoolhouse. It's so good.
Yep.
I'm envious.
And then I was there this year, and I emceed the Hants County Pride Parade. And again, I was bombarded with, "Why are you here? Why aren't you in Wolfville doing this?" I'm like, because they're not doing anything. We do stuff,
There's the
but it's
raising of the
also
Pride flag. That's an
there's
event.
the raising of the Pride flag, and then Annapolis Valley Pride does like Kings Arms Commons has a couple of like drag shows and things. There's something at the Atwill
Yes, I
Theater.
knew there was a thing because they responded to a few things where everyone's like, "Oh, blah 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 blah,"
Yes.
and they responded to social media by saying,
Yep.
"All right, screw
There's
off."
the Pride by the Pond thing over at the waterfront. Like there's little events, but it's not. I always felt because Wolfville is what I consider very progressive, should be doing what Windsor, which has always
They're
been seen as not progressive,
yeah.
is doing, and like Kentville
Is
and
it
Pictou and
is it the lack of cohesion and maybe little bit of I want to say competition, competitiveness?
well, it is. It's almost like we want to spread the wealth, so but I mean, Acadia Pride doesn't do much. They do some stuff on campus. They don't do a lot within the town.
June is a sleepy time of year for any
And that's the thing.
university.
That is the number one reason why Wolfville doesn't do a lot during Pride Month is because the lack of the youth. And
It,
that doesn't like Wolfville School had a Pride walk, and
aw.
then They did. That's the third year in a row they've had it. And it's amazing.
Well,
The kids get it, but it's delivered a different way. It's just about wear bright clothes, you're like hold each other's hands, be a buddy, be a friend, be a supportive. Like that's all it's about is about friends being supportive to one another. It is not about what you're going to decide and what you're going to choose to do and what you were born and haven't figured it out yet. It's
mm,
not about that. It's about someone's going to come to you one day with maybe something difficult. How are you going to handle it? Well, if love just means love, I'm going to be there for you no matter what. And
lo-
that's just what they're taught.
love means acceptance,
Exactly.
and it's
And love wins. Like don't, you're not going to do you want to hurt your friend for being open and honest with you, or do you want to figure it out and ask questions? And do you want to be educated? Do you want to be better? I look at them and I'm like, holy smokes, I don't even know what the next 20 years is going to look like, but it feels pretty darn good. Like when I'm part of that thing. Every student is out there. And there's a couple that maybe their parents kept them home that day. That's unfortunate.
it is. But I feel I like to hope that it's fewer parents every year.
I believe it is. I believe it is every year. Fewer parents.
New people
So,
move in. I don't know if
so
it's
I'm
just
hoping I'm hoping that now that the Wolfville Business Development Corporation, we sat and had a couple good meetings. I think next year will look very different in Wolfville. Like they're going out to businesses and they're saying, you know what, you tell people you're a welcoming space. How are you a welcoming space? What
mm,
do you do that makes you a welcoming space? How are you backing up what you're saying? Joey at King's Arms backs it up.
he does.
You know,
Yeah, this
Carl
he he
Carl backs it up.
he won an award at
Yes, he did. He won
the
the
Annapolis
large
Small
business large business of the year.
Yeah,
Yep,
that
which
was
is fantastic.
great. That was a cool
Yeah,
event that I happened to
Joey
be at.
Joey has turned into one of the just most. He doesn't want the spotlight. He's like, no, this is just the way it has to be. That's it.
What if everyone was comfy, going out and having a good time?
More people would support your business.
Yeah, exactly. It's he is the most rational and inclusive business-minded person I've ever met in my life.
He's like, I don't care who you sleep with. If you want to buy a burger from me,
Yeah,
welcome.
then come in and buy a burger.
You can buy a
And I
burger,
love that.
have a
So
drink.
he's still a capitalist business owner, but
Yes.
he's finally the lack of understanding of this baffles me fully. Where
Yep.
you can oh well these people that I don't religiously agree with or try to do a thing, well, frickin' stop that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so anyway, you'll see something different. I think that it will we're practicing a lot more EDI in how we do our municipal policies, how we do our events, how we do our programming and marketing. I think it's just a matter of doing like the municipality county of Kings, Kentville, like they're rocking it. And it's doing really well. Windsor is rocking it.
Yeah.
Avonview High School was the first high school in Nova Scotia to have a GSA.
Oh,
I know.
I like that.
Like, that's Windsor. We don't even have one at well, I think maybe Horton has one now. I think NECAC has one,
Hope so.
but I would hope so.
Yeah.
But it's now part of all the curriculum. Every subject has an EDI lens. Math has to be accessible and inclusive for everyone, even though it's math. Like you have to understand it. Don't use your acronyms. Make it easy to understand the like plain language books.
Mm.
Like it all factors into it. So anyway, we'll get there.
I hope that was a lot longer than 7 words, but I'm glad you answered. I'm glad we talked about it really quick.
Well, my yes was my 7 words. Then you wanted
know.
specific.
If nothing else, we'll be back here in a year's time grading our predictions.
I would love to do that.
How the new pride, but I
hope
wouldn't.
I'm still
I
on
wouldn't.
council. I'm up
I
for
want to be
re-election
back
next
here
year.
in November. You'll be here for our Remembrance Day show, and we can talk about how the Veterans Affairs Office is doing.
Wow.
Just for
That's what I have to look forward to.
what else do you talk about on Remembrance Day? I don't know. I'm just sort of
This
arbitrarily.
beer has poppies in it.
I'm Oh, now I want to try a beer with poppies in it. There's got to be something for that.
There's gotta be.
I'm too curious and imaginative for my own good. Thank you very much,
Well,
Mike Butler, for being here,
thank
for being my
you.
guest tonight. Ian will be sad that he missed you, but I'm sure you guys will meet up in the future again. Garrison's Queer Summer Brew and Good Robot Thembot Sour.
Love it.
Mike didn't really enter
No,
into the sour side of
no,
things, but
it definitely this was the winner tonight. This was the winner tonight.
the Thembot Sour was very drinkable. So if you were a little bit afraid of sours, honestly, I'd say give it a whip. I think that's definitely worth getting into. It was quite tasty
Thing
to
is,
me.
I know someone will love that. It just hit my taste buds a little different, but then the other one, I actually would probably pick up a can and sit by a fire far away and have a beer with somebody possibly. I'm not selling it, am I?
You're trying to think of people that you know that actually drink beer.
I know. I'm just like, I'll just call Stefan.
Riesler.
Yep. El Noir. Yeah, I can't. I just can't. Yep.
Okay, but
Thanks.
I want to thank Good Robot for making this sour and this I guess I want to say Pride themed sour available mostly year round. I want to thank Garrison for making this beer.
Yeah.
And thanking Churro Brewing for everything they're doing. Thanking all of the breweries, Schoolhouse, especially for everything that you do during Pride Month. And again, let's just what do we do? Snap our fingers and make Pride Month Pride Year, just year round.
Exactly. Like whether you crack the can or not, this is doing something. Just having it visible is doing something. But crack the can. You may enjoy it.
But the good news is we're back next week. It'll be Ian and I having a quick chat. So we're here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. ish. Tonight was a bit late until 9 p.m. And you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@drinknsdry. We're Drink NS Dry on a few of the other places. Like I created the Instagram and the TikTok and the whatnot. And if you want to go straight to the source, then it's drinkns.unsupervised.beer is the website for the RSS feed. We're all there. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.